I'm going to show y'all how you can transform these wooden bunnies from Hobby Lobby using two of my favorite techniques, Decoupage and Crackle paint. I'm going to start by painting the base of my bunny brown. You can use any color you want for this step. Just keep in mind, whatever color you do choose, that's what color the crackles are going to be. I'm going to let that paint dry completely, and then I'm going to get some Elmer's glue. You're going to brush that over the entire piece. And you're going to want to make sure that those brush strokes are all going in the same direction. This is going to give you the prettiest crackle look. Now before that glue dries, you're going to brush on a top layer of paint. You can choose any color you want. And just like I said with the glue, you want to make sure your brush strokes are all going in the same direction. This is going to give you the prettiest crackle look. Now as that glue dries, here's where the magic happens. You can let this air dry, or you can use a heat gun like I'm using. I did let this air dry for about an hour longer just to make sure it was really dry. This next step is optional. I'm just taking a sanding block and sanding around the edges of the bunny just to give it some more definition. And now it's time to decoupage, so grab some of that tissue paper. I'm not going to be covering the entire piece, just the back end. So grab your Mod Podge and then brush that on wherever you want your tissue paper to be. Make sure you're adding a decent amount because you really want that tissue paper to adhere well to the wood. And now you're going to let that Mod Podge dry completely. This is the first step to ensure that there's no wrinkles in the tissue paper. Lay that tissue paper down on top of the dried Mod Podge and then add a heat protective layer, something like an old cloth or parchment paper. And now you're going to add a heat just long enough for that Mod Podge to remelt. I'm using my Cricut mini press, but you can also use a regular household iron. I have mine set to high. Make sure you add enough heat around those edges so that tissue paper has a nice good seal to the wood. Once that cools off, you can use a sanding block to remove all of that excess tissue paper. And y'all, look how gorgeous that looks. I went ahead and made a sweet little bow as my finishing touch. And here's what it looks like when it's all finished. I hope y'all give these two techniques a try, and if you do, just let me know in the comments.